All right, I've already gotten a few things done this morning. I did decide to go ahead and put flashing up. I really wanted to have flashing here, even though it's kind of not the best situation for flashing, but I think it would still be better than not having it. So I've got a few different sizes. I think that's 1.5 inches there, and this is going to be 2 3/4 inch that I had to cut. So I cut it with my 10 snips. I drew straight edge, used a straight edge to draw a line about where it needed, and I cut them all the way down. And then here, the full length was fine, the full width or whatever. And then we had to cut it back a little bit more, starting here and all the way down. And then I used a little bit more of that smaller stuff on this end. And then after I cut it, I sprayed it with some enamel on the edge and both sides of the edge, and that'll just help slow down any rust and corrosion that would happen. Ideally, I'll have the roof over this within the next few weeks, and then it just will never be a problem anyways. But I wanted this insurance here just in case it does rain a few times before I get the roof over this. So, and it's, like I said, it's a little bit better than not having it. Not ideal, but at any rate, once I get this siding finished, I'm gonna come back. Well, actually, that needs to dry for a few hours more, and then once that dries, that paint, that enamel, I'm gonna take my hammer and just kind of ding the edge down to where it's kind of rotated forward, and then I'll do one more coat over that, just in case the ding removes any paint. But that'll at least help the situation here. So I've got 3.5 panels up, and I've got to get the rest of this bottom done and nailed up, and then I can start the top cutting. Alright, we got all the siding up. It looks good. So now I just probably get the paint going, even though I don't feel like it. Go ahead and get some paint started. On this side, I think I'm gonna go ahead and caulk now, just so I can have it done. Caulk everything. There's a lot of caulking to do on this side. While I've got the scaffolding all set up too, I can get all the top caulked, and then I can move the scaffolding out, get all the bottom caulked, and then I can start working on getting the paint and all that set up, because that takes a while the caulk dries. And we can get it all, get a coat on it, and do this other side and the front. Yeah, I wanted to mention really quick, the nail gun that I use, it's got the plastic strips that hold the nails together, and so they do get kind of stuck sometimes and where it puts the nail in. So like the plastic piece will be stuck in and you'll just need to pull that out before you paint or caulk. So that's what I was doing. If you saw that, me toward the end, I was using these to pull out any of those, and that way you're getting a good paint or caulk coverage. So just wanted to mention that. Another thing I wanted to mention was I did put the flashing down, like I mentioned, and I've got a gap down there. So use the a cut off piece of OSB as my gap point or measurement or whatever. So just a piece on each end to kind of help get it as level as possible, and then I use my level to finish it off from there. But yeah, you just want a gap so that if water does get there in the corner, it doesn't just soak up and stay there, or it doesn't stay against the wood, you know. So, but at any rate, I do still plan on putting the roof over this. So hopefully, I mean, this is already gonna be so much better than it was, as you've seen. So anyways, I'm gonna continue. Not sure how much you'll be able to tell, but the paint is done. Every day this time of day, it's the sun is just blinding and at the wrong angle. But I did caulk all this and painted, so caulk and paint done. It might get another coat of paint later, but this first coat did pretty good. I had the walking boards down to kind of help block the concrete from getting any spray on it. We got a little spray in the crack, but who cares? Honestly, if the concrete got spray, I really wouldn't care that much. This is my house, but this makes it look a little bit nicer, I guess, less crappy. And then the flashing got some of the paint, so that'll just help protect it more. Still not really a huge fan of the flashing. Just the way it looks here just doesn't look that good, but I guess it will help protect if any water gets back here. So I did caulk the flashing, so each joint there was a 6-inch overlap on each of these spots. So, but then I caulked it, so you should be able to tell there that it was caulked. But yeah, I like this color a lot. Crushed granite. It I think once I get all the trim on here with that gray, it's gonna look extremely good, but it already looks very good. Turned out great. All my cuts up there look great, and I actually caulked, you know, like you're supposed to. I caulked the seam all the way down, and each vertical seam. I mean, that's obvious that, well, maybe not obvious because they didn't, but it's needed. So, whew, we're moving along. I just need to get, possibly we'll do some trim work tomorrow. Now that this side has 2 coats, I want to get trim work done on this side, and then the gutter downspouts done, and that's like the main goal for tomorrow. So the door is going to get trim. We're going to put 6-inch trim on the whole bottom, and then 2-inch trim along the top, and then each corner is going to get 4-inch trim around it, this corner and that corner that way. Maybe not that one because I still need to put another coat of paint on the back, but this corner is ready for sure. And then I'll do some little fancy, I'll probably notch out the trim around this, and then just caulk it or something. We'll see. But that is very well weather tight because I put the Tyvek tape around it. I did caulk before I even did the siding. I did caulk, and then I did more caulk after the siding. And like I said, once I put the trim board on there, it's going to get more caulk. So 3 layers of caulk will be good. I mean, way better than what it was before, which had nothing. So, but yeah, I'm happy with how this is looking so far. So done for today, and I'll update you tomorrow. As you can see, trim is up, painting, all that was done yesterday. So I put all the trim on, well, for this side, and fixed this side a little bit. So the corner's done, this whole side's done, and that corner over there is done as well. Around the door's done, painted, or caulked, painted, all of that. There's a few touch-up spots that I'll have to finish up, but we're mostly done. I still need to paint the door, but it's not a huge priority. So we've got all this side is getting really close to being done. You see I finished off this corner as well, so it's good. So soon I'm going to be starting on the roof back here. Before I do that, I'm going to get trim done up here along that soffit and get that trim done first, because I don't want to have to deal with doing that when the roof's on. So that's what I'm going to get started on this coming up week as I get time, along with the gutter downspouts need to get done. So just catching you up. The other thing I did was I've added some concrete crack sealer into this crack here, and that's to prevent any termites from coming up in the future, because it would have been kind of difficult to see them if they were coming up through that crack, and they will come up through cracks like that. And so that's, you know, right by my foundation, they could go underneath that flashing and sneak in, and you wouldn't really see them. So this will prevent that from happening. And then once this roof is on, this will never get wet, so this whole back wall will be so much better. And then on the inside, so this wall here, about midday through the end of the day in the summer, it gets full sun and gets super hot. So I'm adding, there's one bag left there to finish adding. I'm adding insulation to this wall here today, and then I'm going to get sheathing on this wall as well. Some OSB I've got here, so I can have a flat wall, because this is going to be a work table here, so I don't want wall cavity there. It'll just be nicer to deal with the finished wall there. So get some OSB sheets on there, and that'll be done. So that's my goal for today. I'll update you at some point this week.